The first category I listed was chordophone. And as you can see, that's an instrument whose sound is primarily produced by the vibration of strings. This category includes instruments we would call strings under the older system, plus things like piano. You can see our pictures here. We have the piano keyboard, and that has strings inside the piano, of course, so that's a chordophone. We have a type of chordophone in the middle that's often called a hammered dulcimer, and different cultures have their different versions of that. And then we have something kind of looks like an African banjo maybe, or an African instrument. It's called the kora, and some people call it African harp, some people call it African banjo. Alright, this particular video, very interesting group that's contemporary and very popular right now, the 12 Girl Band from China. And that video introduced two important subcategories of chordophones. You saw some instruments in the front row that are the Chinese erhu, E-R-H-U, and again, don't worry about these spellings and things right now because we will study these in our specific China unit. But they are what we call lute type chordophones, and I'll explain more about that in another slide. We also had some instruments in the back that were kind of like laying on a table or a stand, and those are zither type chordophones. Now we'll explore a little bit more about what those mean. Now the lute type of chordophone has an extended fingerboard, which most people, when they're using the English terms, call it a neck, which is attached to the main body or sound box of the instrument. So you see from our pictures here, a violin has a long neck coming out of the body of the instrument. The Japanese shamisen, even longer neck, and the guitar is one of the most familiar instruments worldwide, I think, and you can see how you've got that neck with the metal bars we call fret bars dividing the pitches. We also have the zither type of chordophone. Let me say that again so I'm being clear for the non-native speakers. Zither type chordophone on which the strings are stretched across the length of the sound box. So usually it's a longer sound box or longer body of the instrument, and the instruments are the strings are simply stretched out across that body. So we have several examples here with the Chinese guzheng, or sometimes it's called zhang, and I'm pronouncing it like an American, so any Chinese students that are hearing me will hear that American accent. You can see that it is a kind of a long board, curved board, that has a string stretched across that board. Japanese koto looks very similar to the Chinese instrument, and in fact they come from a common ancestor instrument. And then below you see the Irish hammered dulcimer. It's hard to see in this photo, but there are strings stretched across. They're running kind of diagonally in the photo, and the player has his right hand down holding a hammer and striking a string. You can see even more clearly in his left hand there's a type of stick or type of plucker, if you will, or hammer that plays on those strings.